being asked to speak on my activism and how I became one has given me time to think about that question. And I equate it with partly social conscience and how I became a thoughtful person in that way, to think of others. And so in thinking that, I came down with some F's, which means family, faith, females, and I think the fact that I had 12 years of education with nuns, 8 in grammar school and 4 in high school with two different orders. I think those women inspired me. I certainly knew that they were involved with a particular religion, Catholic religion, but they did give up their lives to help others. And I think that also inspired me, that I looked up to some people who sacrificed in such a huge way. I think that helped me. And so that was the faith. But my family, I came from a huge family who had a farm in the south end of Albany. And it was the last farm in the city of Albany. And they also were people who had big families and were in the construction business and built homes there, so that we all lived like in a commune, actually. So it was a big family a commune, as they say. And so I think back that there was a time when there was open land nearby in south of Albany, just off 2nd Avenue, and it was on. It was at a time when children were around their homes, all night and until they were called home. And so we thought it would be wonderful if they had a playground there. And my family, who were in the construction business and had trucks and all, got us all together and took us down to City Hall when Mayor Thatcher was there. And so we actually did load up all the family and mostly the children, of course. I was 7 years old. And we went down to City Hall, and Mayor Thatcher came out, and of course we had photographers there, took pictures of us, and we said our piece, which was, can't this city of Albany come to the south end and use this huge piece of land to have a ball diamond and some swings and seesaws and such for the children. And we got it. And today that is a part of the St. Rose athletic field, and it is also the current Albany City Recreation Department building. So that was a little bit of family helping to get involved and see that something good happened. So there was the faith and the family. And then there's the friends. There was a time when I went back to college, and I did a course on colonial women. And it was there that I learned about the Quakers, and that they were very different from the other colonial women. They had more equality, and this impressed me a lot. So it was sort of at that time when I walked into a friend's meeting house on Cape Cod where I had retired. And I could see that this was the faith that I wanted. So I changed from the Catholic religion and loved the equality testimony that they have. One of their testimonies is community, too. So that was my outlook, too. Social conscience and women. And so I became a Quaker. And I'm sure that I had a concentration of wonderful women to look up to. They are amazing, the women in the Quaker movement who have inspired me with their activism. And so I became a Granny for Peace, and people think of me as an activist. I don't even think of myself as the one. I just look up to the other amazing women who have made such big differences. But it was Quakers, the Friends, who had a big result in my thinking about peace and about violence and about love and truth. These are more testimonies, and that everybody, every human being is a part of God. God is within us. And so how can you have a war? How can you kill anyone when you're killing God? And I did have a cousin who went over to Germany as a pilot in the Second World War, and he was a buddy of mine, handsome young CBA graduate, and he was a pilot and shot down over Germany and spent a year and a half in a prison camp. And they were eating rats. And they were so hungry, and anyway, the whole experience left him just a shell of a man when he came home. Physically, he was the same man. Other than that, he never was anything but a psychological returning vet. And not only did that have an effect on me with the peace testimony, but also my husband, who was in Korea. He said, before I let my sons go into another war, I'll take them to Canada. I'll drive them there. So these are some of the things that have happened in my lifetime that have made me an activist, and I don't come to the top of the mast, because I was a sailor. My husband and I were sailors, so I use that euphemism. But I do what I do, and I feel rewarded more than you can imagine. And I do the vigils is pretty much what I do. And I have met superior people, and a lot of them are women. For some reason, I could name a dozen women who have inspired me. And I have a wonderful friend who is deceased now. She was a Red Cross gal in the Second World War. Spent a lot of time in New Guinea, and she has inspired me. And my own mother and my own grandmother who I lived with. And so people, and especially women, have inspired me. There's no doubt about it. So it's my faith, and it's my and females, and I have had. I'm inspired to write to a prisoner for years, and he was in Leavenworth, and he was in Texas. So this is an African American prisoner, and. Along the way, I was looking for some research material for him in a bookstore, and one of the staff said that she could write to him, and she did. And eventually, they got married, and she was a white woman, and they got married, and he is now out of prison. He spent more time in prison than he has out of prison. He was from a gang area in L.A. That's how he wound up. And but anyway, they have a beautiful marriage. They have lived in Albany and bought a house, and and he's written a book. And so anyway, activism pays off. So I'm a Granny for Peace, and I have 12 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren. I wanted to say that I think of them often and hope that things for them are not going in the direction that I'm seeing things going. And so I'm doing this, my activism is for my 12 grandchildren and my 3 great-grandchildren, and for all children all over the world. And I think the situation that we're ignoring, in my way of thinking, to our peril, is the environment. and it's coming so quickly. So the green parties that are in all over the world, if the young people can know, and they do, they're realizing this is going to affect them and will affect them, I think they will come out. I do think that that is the crux of this, of getting the young people to get out there, not just on social media, which I know is very effective, but to get them out there on the streets and in the cities. It has to be something that affects them. So I think the environment, the guns, and the cost of their college educations, these are things that affect them personally daily. And I think those are the things that will get the young people out to vigil and to march. That's important. But as far as my activism, I'm sure that women have played a huge part in it. I lived with my grandmother all my life, and she was intelligent and humorous and musical, and that was a privilege. She would talk about her having to get married because it was the thing that women had to do. She said she did not want to. She loved what she was doing. She was an Irish maid in a mansion in Balsam Spa. The editor of the local paper was who she worked for, and she loved because she could use their library. And so that woman, who only went to the second grade, she read Dickens and Mark Twain, and she was so intelligent just because she made the effort to do that. And she always said, I did not want to get married. She says, I was a supremely happy woman, but because someone wanted to marry me, I was told, you have to do that. Society is expecting you to get married. You're going to be a burden if you don't get married. So she did. And so the way she handled that was she told her husband to take the children on the trolley to Schenectady every Sunday, and she stayed home and read books. So she was one of the women. My own mother was unbelievable. She had to quit school when she was 12 and get a job in GE to support her father, who had a stroke, and then the mother, who was taking care of the invalid. And she did it and never felt put upon. This was what you do. You step up and you do something. And later on, she got her GED, and she, anyway, was a strong woman. So I've seen, and one of our Quaker women, as any of our wonderful Quaker women can tell you, was the first, Arlen Westbrook was the first person to allow a black family to live in Delmar, New York. There was never any black people in Delmar. She sold her house, or she rented her house to a black family, and even though her very nice neighbors were telling her that their property values were going to plunge, and she couldn't do that. She stood up and did the right thing, and she integrated Delmar, New York. One woman. So women are special, and I think we need one in the White House.